y'all know I've been working on this rear end. We cleaned her up. She had a lot of surface level rust. We cleaned her up, then we painted her, and then threw some clear on top of it. I should have waited to do that because I've had her on these jacks, and then working on this, it's kind of scraped up a lot of the paint. But that's cool. We all right. Some war wounds ain't gonna hurt nobody. So we went through the whole process of getting those axles cut. I did them myself. That was pretty cool. Curry Industries had a calculator to help you figure out those measurements. And it worked out pretty well. Got them in there. Got the third member in there. When you rotate the hubs, they spin. We got posi, so that's gonna be hella cool. All of that power going to both wheels, lovely. So yeah, we got the third member installed, blue Loctite down, axles in there, they're good. So today is getting the brakes done. So that is what I've done. You can see the brakes are assembled on there. We're gonna run through just some of the video I captured to get those on there. So, all right, so here's the issue. All right, I'm gonna just keep it 1,000 with y'all. You can see, I don't know if you can see this little light thing, but this light here helps me see at night. During the day, I get a lot of natural light, so it's not a big deal. But at night, I don't get that same natural light, and the lighting in this garage isn't good. So I bought this light to help me, so it works really well. But what I didn't know, as I'm learning, is the lighting here is different than the shutter speed and the frame rates from this. So I had to look that up. So it causes a lot of flickering. So I'm gonna still put those videos in there, but just understand I'm still learning about that kind of stuff. I'm new. I'm getting into the game. You know what I'm saying? So videographers out there, if you watching this video and you know a little something, hey, just spit some game at me in my DMs at yo, it's Keith on Instagram. So I know what I need to do. I'm still trying to figure out how that works. But anyways, I'm gonna toss some videos in there so y'all can see what's going on, what I did to install the brakes. This is all new for me. I have not done this before. All right. So if you're somebody who's never worked on cars, or maybe you're working on cars now and you're wondering, I don't know if I could do the rear end myself. Hey, bruh. Hey, bro, I got the Curry 9-inch. I got the third member installed. I got the axles cut. I got the axles installed. The rotors didn't even fit initially, so I had to drill the holes larger so the studs could clear those holes. Even the center where the cap is, the Curry cap in the center of the hub, for that to fit over, I had to kind of open that up a little bit too. Come on, man. Y'all could do it. Y'all could do it. I promise you. I encourage you to just jump into it. Don't be scared to do anything on your car. Save the money. It's all money saver. I mean, this is expensive regardless, whether you paying for everything to get new parts or you're sending it in for someone else to do. So you might as well save the money and do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, watch the videos. Watch what I did to get it all together. Get your feet kicked up on your sofa, on your ottoman, or whatever the case it may be. Get yourself a popcorn. Get your kids involved, man. Make them be car guys and car girls for the future, man. Let's go. All right, so milestone 1 I already told you was done, but I do want to explain what that exactly means. All right, so I'm going to turn y'all around, and I'm going to just do a quick explanation of the brackets. So if you see here, this is the axle, and then on the face of the housing, we have 3 plates. All right, so this little skinny plate in here is the spacer plate. So this plate right here covers up where the bearing comes out just a smidge. That gives you, it puts in space right there, or fills in that space. So when you bolt in your bracket and retainer plate, it doesn't bend back. And then you have issues with your bolts and nuts and getting everything straight and blah, blah, blah. So it's a domino effect if you don't get that right. So make sure you put your spacer plate in there. And then here is your bracket, your base bracket. So this base bracket right here is going to connect to your caliper bracket. So that's how this is. And as you can see, if I turn it to the side a bit, you see a little piece sticking out, and then there's a second little piece over here that's sticking out. So your caliper bracket will connect to both of those. And then you have this black plate inside here. There you go. That plate is the retaining plate. It just keeps everything secure in here. So that's how the instructions said to put that together. And so I'm just following the instructions. I seen some videos where they took and put the retaining plate in second and then put the base bracket in last. So I'm not sure why they did that, but I guess it worked for them. For me, I'm gonna just follow the instructions. I'm new to this. I'm trying to get true to this. You feel me? So we're gonna go that route. So milestone 1 done. It's bolted in. We're good to go. It doesn't need to come back out. We torqued him down the whole 9. Boom. So now on to milestone 2 is to get this bad boy up onto the hub. So let's get that going. I'm gonna situate you guys up here on the side of the Nova, looking down at what I'm doing here. Really simple. As you see, the holes, I had to drill those out a little bit larger. The spacing between them was not as exact. So it's not that the holes needed to be bigger, but because of the spacing between them wasn't as OEM as they needed to be, I made the holes a little bit bigger. So, you know, now all of the studs can clear it. So no biggie. Also, I had to do the same here so this could fit over the centerpiece of the hub. So now everything fits good. And you see, I'm going to use those 2 lug nuts to keep it in place. Let's get it done. I highly suggest when you do this, because you're going to have to do this to do measurements and then take off the plate and put them back on and all that. Make sure the lug nuts you use are open-ended, because the lug nuts that I originally had, they didn't go in deep enough with just the rotor on. They go in deep enough if I have the tires on or the wheels on, but if it's just the rotor, it couldn't go back far enough. And then this was too wobbly to, you know, figure out how I needed to put my calipers on. All right, let's tighten these down. All right, and milestone 2. Oh, shit. Milestone 2 complete. All right. All right, so for milestone 3 is getting this caliper on there. So there's multiple things we have to figure out here. So in order to get that caliper on to the rotor, we need to have this caliper bracket installed also. And like I showed you guys, these 2 parts here and these 2 parts here are going to go into the base bracket. So gotta get that going. And then from there, we're going to figure out the spacing needed between this bracket and our base bracket. So I have the spacers all here. I watched a video and they only needed 2 on each side. So hopefully that's the case. What I did notice is that most people have a problem with the bolts that come with this hitting the back of the rotor. So I just threw a bunch of washers on there to make sure that the bolt doesn't go too deep and hit the inside of the rotor. So we'll see if that works out. So let's figure this thing out. All right, so we got the retaining rods retaining this pad over here, and then this pad will sit seated right there. We are going to turn this around this way and put that up here. Bam. Really simple. And then, oh, there you go. So you see how there's all this movement, it slides back and forth. That's where these bolts back here, if y'all can see them. So that's where those bolts and these spacers will come into play. So the base plate is here, and then this is the caliper bracket. So let me see, I'm gonna try to do this with one hand, y'all. So, oh, this would be so good to have a magnet on my chest. All right, let's see. Anyways, so if you can see, all three of these fit pretty good here. I mean, it's a snug fit too. So those three fit in there just like that. So the only problem I'll have, it won't be between this bracket and the other bracket. It'll just be how much I need to add or reduce in terms of spacers for this, so it doesn't rub against the inside of the rotors. And if I have the right amount, then the rotor will spin freely. And if these are centered, if the rotor is centered in between these brake pads, right, you won't hear it like sandpaper against the against the brake pads. So we should be good. So we're gonna test all that out. So I'm gonna take this caliper off, disassemble it, and then I'm going to bolt this caliper bracket to the base bracket in here. So also means I need to take off this rotor. So this is the part where I was saying you gotta assemble it, figure it out, then disassemble it, put it back together somewhat, and then reassemble it again. So it's a little bit of back and forth, but once you do it, you don't have to do it again. You know what I mean? Unless you're like changing your brakes out and stuff like that. But you know, once it's on, and you pretty much get the gist. So let me do that real quick. All right, so now we got the we got the caliper bracket bolted on, just finger tight, nothing crazy, because we're gonna test it out again. But we're testing it out to make sure these spacers are enough, so when we put the caliper on, the rotor can spin in between freely without rubbing up. So I know I said it and I keep saying it, but this is just so y'all get the process. Yeah, feel me? It's much easier to do with a buddy, but it is possible to do on your own. It's just annoying. All right, so that's there. So now we want to put these retaining bolts in. When you put your retaining bolts in, you're coming in from the outside of the caliper, and it needs to go through the bolt or through the threads of the caliper bracket. So you might have to lift up a little bit. Now the other issue is this brake pad needs to come up because the retaining bolt is going to keep it held up. Boy, there you go. So that's in there. I'm gonna just keep that for there for now because I want to put the other one in. So let's put the other one in. Sorry, I'm in y'all way. So the other one, I'm on this side. Got to lift the caliper up a little to get to the hole, and then got to lift this part of the pad up, get across, boom. So I'm lifting this up. Let me so y'all can see. Let me get on this side actually. So I'm slightly lifting this up and then threading in the retaining bolt. If you lift up, it just takes pressure off the bolt. Get that in there. So same on this side. Lift up, just get it in there. And I'm just threading it in, so nothing crazy. It does have a hex, like an Allen wrench style. I just don't have the size, so I'm finger twisting for now until I can get that size Allen wrench, and then I'll do that. But we are in. We're bolted into the so the caliper is bolted into the caliper bracket with the spacing needed, or hopefully needed. I gotta test that actually in a second. And so we can see here, or well, maybe you guys can't. I'll have to change the angle. But what I'm gonna do is get something to stick in between these studs and rotate the rotor to see if this is good enough. And if it is not, we just need to maneuver this in such a way and then put spacers in between here so it's always that way. You know what I'm saying? So give me a second. We're gonna rotate this thing. Down here. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. Nothing. Like I said, the bolts that I put those extra washers on, that helps keep it from hitting the inside of the rotor. So this is actually perfect spacing. So I thought I was gonna have to do more for you guys, but I guess not. And that's pretty much it. We got the brakes attached to the rear end or installed on the rear end. They look good. Only got a couple things left to do with it, right? Obviously the rear end's gonna need gear oil. And then the brakes, I'm going to disassemble one last time, but it's not to do anything new or figure anything out. It's just whatever's bolted that didn't get blue Loctite down. I want to hit it with some blue Loctite and then give it one last, snug fit, hit it with the torque wrench, call it a day. We're good there. Then, of course, eventually we got to put the rear end up under here, attach those brake lines, the soft lines to the hard lines, you know what I'm saying, and then bleed the brakes. But before I do that, I want to make sure that the hard lines aren't rusted out, because if they are, this is a good time to change that out with the rear end, not underneath the car. And then also the fuel lines. I want to make sure the integrity is still good, because once again, with the rear end out from under there, this gives me a lot of space to work with. So I'm checking those things out. Once those things are good, we can toss this back up under there, get it attached to these leaf springs, bolt the leaf spring shackles up into the frame. And then now we got our rear end back, toss the wheels on, and then we'll be sitting on all four. Hopefully I could get that to happen. No. Hopefully we will get that to happen. I'm gonna work hard enough to get that to happen. All right. So, thank you again for the 50 that have been following or that are following now. We trying to grow the community. We're going to continue growing the community. We're going to keep pushing content. We started off with trying to get a 80s G-Body Malibu and ended up getting a 71 Nova that my bro encouraged me to get. And now I'm like madly in love with it. So much so I want to get his predecessor, the square body 66 or 67. It's just that they're so rare. It's hard to find any that aren't worth like 30, 40, 50,000. I think I might be able to get one, but we'll see. We'll see. Because if we do, once we get finished with this, that'll be the next project. You know what I'm saying? But that's between you and me. So chill, just relax, bro. With that being said, man, I appreciate y'all. Keep watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Like it so I can get in the algorithm. Comment so I know what you like, what you want to see, and then just so we can socialize with each other. And then subscribe. Tell your peoples to tell their peoples to subscribe to the channel so the community could grow. And again, follow me on Instagram. I'm always in my stories, whether it's just me driving around listening to music, whether I'm at a car meet, whether I'm supporting somebody else and they stuff. I'm active as hell on my stories. And then I'm starting to post interviews and stuff up over there too. So just come rock with me over there. You're going to see a whole lot on Instagram. Instagram is my daily stuff. YouTube is my weekly stuff. You feel me? Think of it like that. I appreciate y'all. Yo, it's Keith and I'm out.